What? No, I'll just.
I had to take one.
You're on the happy side because it's the last meeting, so we got smiles. Is that what you're saying?
Whatever.
I just, yeah.
You're not gonna jump up and do anything like, maybe they put this.
Yeah, I realized.
Now go all the way, yeah, come on.
You want just a little more drama, yeah.
Why not? Why not?
You clicked on, are you warm enough, Michelle?
It's actually warm in here for me.
Too warm? Is that what you said?
No.
My hands are cold, but it'll be fine.
Oh, we run warm.
It's gonna jump to 90 and then it'll go back down.
Yeah, I was looking at the time. Close to 90 every day. Sit to change it too. Look at me. Look at me.
Yesterday was work. He hasn't done this. He sits by me.
Mike, for your jeans, do you want Mike's or mine?
Because he's 50 pounds.
Michael's fine.
Like, I'm doing.
That could be by you.
Rain day, so it's like Jim's mom's like pretty. Jeez,
Doesn't really look like it. You get that one. You thought we would do something else, Betty. Which was,
I'm getting warm.
three times. And you gotta get that off.
Just
yeah.
one of your reports.
Yeah, we just don't have this around.
Okay, which one? All right, let's
Yeah.
call this meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. Could you start out with the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call. Trustee Hodges.
Present.
Trustee Clark.
Here.
Trustee Renner.
Here.
Trustee Schober. President Lysick here. Clerk Ford. Trustee Goodman. Here. Trustee Khan. Here. Trustee Long.
Here.
And Engineer Welch. Move on to public comments. Any public comments? Try and keep them to about 2 minutes. Stand up, state your name and address. If there are no public comments, we'll move along. Item 3, reports, Fire Department monthly report. Good evening, Chief.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. You?
Good, good. So we had 15 calls for the month, bringing our total to 44. We are continuing to implement our new Target Solutions training program and reporting system. This system has been allowing our members to do online training at home, and in-person training is more focused with what our members are learning online. The letter that we put together with the village president to the area fire departments has been sent out. We're currently waiting for some responses and we'll be doing some follow-up on that. I know test runners that got theirs, they contacted me, but I haven't heard anything else yet. Once the new village board is in place, we're requesting all village board members to complete the National Incident Management System program, ICS 700, an introduction to NIMS, and ICS 100, an introduction to ICS training courses. It is strongly recommended by Homeland Security that all elected and appointed officials complete these programs. We will forward information to you in the next few weeks. Excuse me. Over the past month and a half, we've been in the process of cleaning files, paperwork, and outdated and expired items in both stations. Since we gave up our office in the clerk's office and now in our small storage room at Station 2 for the courts, we are consolidating and getting both Station 1 and Station 2 offices to be set up according for each. The municipal court has requested the 3 filing cabinets we had. We are looking to have everything completed in the month or so. Staff has also been in the process of updating our fee schedule for service. We hope to have this to finance before the main meeting. Our annual vehicle inspections and certifications will be starting this month, and we are exploring the possibility of having an open house with staff in the near future. COVID numbers continue to drop across the area. Hospital numbers have decreased dramatically, and our current PPE supply continues to be in decent shape. And also our ladders will be tested on May 11th. So, any questions or concerns?
No, thank you very much. Let's review library monthly report. Carla had a funeral to attend tonight, so her report is submitted in your packet. Review it at your leisure, and I guess if you have any questions, contact her. Certificate of commendation for a big library.
That's impressive.
Congratulations to her and her staff. I know they're working on a new resolution for the county to increase funding for the library system too.
She's trying to get the electronic items as an accounted number to get more funding.
I think she'll have a better update for that next month. Item 3C, Police Department monthly report. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, how's everybody?
Very good. Yourself?
Reports are in front of you: one theft, one assault, one fraud ID, one criminal damage, one intoxicated driver, 4 adult arrests for the OWI, one that had a retail theft and 7 warrants, a substantial battery, and another gentleman for warrants. 461 traffic stops, 68 citations, 1 non-traffic, 374 calls for service, 151 business checks, house checks, extra patrols, 5 accidents, and responded with the fire department to 11 of their calls. The items of note are following. I'm going to read them. You guys can take a look at them. If you have any questions, there's some entertaining ones on there. The second last one's pretty entertaining. I'll just talk about it real quick. So we had a reckless vehicle. We stopped, and the guy was doing a Zoom meeting for court while he was driving on Highway 164.
We'll call that efficient.
He went to jail. And he went to jail.
Oh, good job.
25 salvage vehicle inspections since we started the program back up, 3 hours and 49 minutes, assisting other agencies, and state tax collection with the new clerk. We didn't get the numbers for that. We'll update it next month when I get the correct numbers from the new court clerk. Questions, comments?
Anything you want to say about the public safety meeting that you want to bring forward in regards to that we met with Ralph?
Oh, so we public safety, we met with the owner of Papa Stashes. Obviously, as everybody knows, there's been a few issues over the last couple of years with underage drinking. I think Ralph and John as manager have a good plan in place. I think the conversation went well with all of us. They understand what they need to do. We said we would support them, and when they call us, if they're calling and report something, we're going to support them as long as they're doing the right thing. So I think it went very well. This time of year is quiet for them anyhow, but it should start picking up soon. National Night Out, just if you want to put it on your calendar, is Tuesday, August 9th from 5 to 8 o'clock. We might extend it a little later. We're working on some other stuff that we're talking about today.
That is election night, Chief.
Pardon me?
That is election night.
Yeah. Come vote and then come to National Night Out. I think we'll get more people.
There you go, that's perfect, that's
Will your
called
kids
strategy.
there while you vote?
They can come and make sure they vote before they come in.
August 9th.
We're gonna add a car show to it. We've worked with Eric on some of the ins and outs and stuff for that already. And that's all I got. Oh wait, I take that back. We got another COVID grant That'll help us set up another SWAT card, or they'll actually set up my car with complete CAS system and internet in it, so we can have a card that's readily available in case one of our other cards ever go down. We can just switch it out all the time. And I won't have to switch cards every day when I get to work. I can start right from the street.
Excellent.
And then the governor put out a thing for all law enforcement about 2 weeks ago. Our portion of it will be $7,000. Elena knows about it, Laura knows about it, they're watching for information on that. That's all I got. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints?
Oh, good job. Thanks.
Oh, one more thing. I just forget something, I should write this stuff down. I've been in touch and working with Shamrock. The abandoned vehicles there should be gone in 10 days, or moved or repaired and re-registered. And what that truck that's in the front there, that's been parked there for like a year and a half. I actually saw him working on the engine the other day. He said he's just waiting for the weather, and he was waiting for one part that come in that he got in. And I saw 2 guys working on it the day before yesterday, whatever day we had a little break in the weather. So hopefully all that stuff will be cleaned up by 10 days from now.
Excellent. Thanks.
Very good.
Item 3D, President's Report. The only thing I have to report is tonight is Kelly and Michelle's last night at the board meeting, and I'd like to welcome on Mike Monzel and Tracy Lewandowski. Congratulations, and to Tony too on your re-election and elections. Thanks. Item 3E, Public Works Department Monthly Report. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening. First of all, to you two that are leaving us, thank you for your service to the village. It's been a bumpy road, it's been a high road, low road, but it's been a good road as far as I'm concerned. For the new people that were elected and Tony that was re-elected, congratulations. Appreciate everybody stepping in. So, I have a long report, but I'm not going to go that long. First thing, this Saturday is our first, this Saturday or next Saturday is our first dumpster Saturday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. On the 18th, we will start brush pickup. And Warren, if you do the website, I want them parallel to the road, not cut ends towards the road.
16th is dump day.
17th is Easter, and 18th is Monday, we start picking up brush.
You want the brush parallel?
Parallel to the road, so we're picking up mechanically now.
Thank you.
We were out 5 times this year. I met with a gentleman named Dan Steppes of Badger Well Drilling, and then we're looking for an update, so I'll try to give you the update here. They punched 4 wells, test wells. 2 of them right now are very promising. One has got a great flow to it. We're at about 155 to 165 feet. Coincidentally, if you take those wells that were there and you line it up with the one that we did last year, they're all in a row. So I sure wish we would have
Bumped.
pumped. Yes. It's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Our generator, I don't know if you guys saw the automatic transfer switch today. That got bumped back down in production a little bit, actually a month or so. That's not just in the switch, I don't know what the generator yet. Hopefully that's gonna stay on there. I don't know if you guys saw the Spectrum people out in town. There was a lot of issues with Spectrum cable, just actually loose ends and stuff and corrosion. So they were here for about 2 weeks in actually our DPW and fire department. Had some bad stuff, so they took care of that. Also met with the guy from Central One Security. They put another camera in the back of the firehouse back there, and we're gonna need another one. And we're on the other side, we've had some items that go on back there. Did a complete drone flyover of the cemetery. You guys we have that, right? Oh, you have that on there already? Did you want to do that now, or did you want to do that under the cemetery thing?
It's on
It's on its
agenda
own.
item.
And we'll do it later.
Okay. The issue with the insects, called in an exterminator. They did that. They will do it one more time. There shouldn't be no problem with that. Measured a bunch of fencing that we're going to be putting up on Cherry Street for the ball teams. We've been doing a lot of seasonal stuff on lawnmowers and other things that we had a chance while the weather's so perfect outside. We attended Davis Hotline's safety meeting. We got a big tree up at the cemetery that got hit by lightning that we could not get out last year. We were able to take it out of there. It was hanging on the backside of Sally Ham's residence. We were able to actually grab that and pull it on our side and get rid of it. I attended a 2-day class in the Berlin for FEMA. I told Tony about that. Salt usage. So we were one of the first people in the county, actually in the southern part of Wisconsin, to buy a metal press. There are now 8 units being used in Waukesha County. Everybody has the same comments on the plow. It does a fantastic job. So a little bit of a history here. We bought that. We saved it right now. We saved in the last 2 years about $10,000 in road salt, and actually more if you consider that we did not. I didn't take 240 tons. I took 140 tons, and I still have 60 tons down at Jones Island, which the state is going to buy. They're going to buy some of that. I'm restricted, or I have to take another 20 tons, just because of the deal. Salt is going up about $10 a ton next year. It would be nice to take the stuff we have and put it someplace. We just don't have the room. So we'll deal with that as it comes. So that 85 tons of sand salt mixture also. I wanted to thank the chief. In public safety, we have some issues with Riverside Drive over here. And one of them is we have people parking all over the place, and then in the summer we've got them on both sides, even though it's posted on one side, can't park. Part of the problem is the fire department needs to get in there. So I want to thank Chief. He was able to get an ordinance put together, a resolution put together, which I believe they're going to vote on tonight. Is that correct?
Gotta talk to the man in the corner.
It's on.
You got that, right, sir?
Talking to you.
I got the email. You had the resolution put together, right?
Yeah, it was attached to that email.
Yeah.
It's in there, it's on there, it's the last 2 things on your packet.
Also, I want to thank the PD. We had a pretty large funeral, and they were able to come up and assist us. Everybody's been up to the cemetery, but it's getting to be like a freeway on County L up there. I mean, it's 55, but that's on a good day. So I was happy for that. We had over 150 people. We figured that out with cars, worked out well. So, any questions?
Eric, how much salt are you looking for a home for, to store?
I got rid of everything, so we're just gonna put 20 in the bin and call it a day.
Oh, okay.
Because we had an excess down there, and usually they make you take that. We were lucky that the state said, we will buy it from you, so we'll be clean on that. And that's what happened last year, so we had 80 tons left that we just couldn't take.
So you don't need a second home for any of the, like
Not
this?
right now.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Item 3F, report from professional services.
Nothing other than from the agenda.
All right, thanks. Move along to item 4, consideration and approval of minutes from Thursday, March 3rd.
Make a motion to dispense with reading.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the minutes of presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Minutes approved. Item 5A, discussion and consideration and approval of bills in the amount of $98,207.15.
Motion to approve the bills in that amount.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, old business, discussion, consideration, and possible action on the emergency management plan for the Village of Big Bend update.
Well, we've got the rough draft in front of us. It was emailed out the other day. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to take a look at it.
It's what's called a basic plan. It's basically a comprehensive emergency management plan, but it's abbreviated for a village of our size. So everything that you see in here is piecework together so that it mimics the comprehensive emergency management plan that counties and larger cities use. I would encourage everybody to take a look at it. I'm looking for feedback, especially from police and fire.
We didn't get it. We never got it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh,
Didn't I send it the other day?
I thought you did.
I thought I did too.
You sent it, I know to like, I didn't see the who's all on that email chain, but I know I got it.
I got it.
2 days ago or
We'll get it to you guys.
I didn't get it to you.
No, I'm looking right now.
Okay.
I don't
I
send it.
think it was 2 days ago, I think it was
I
Tuesday.
don't think I could have missed it.
You can have another printed one, because I have another copy from Tuesday.
I'll forward it to you also.
So as everybody's reviewing this, so that we can hopefully do any changes that's necessary, 2 action items we're going to need to do. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and send this to Waukesha County Emergency Management for review, suggestions, make sure that there's nothing that we need to include in on it. It will be the only outside entity away from the village that will have a preemptive copy of it. The other action item that we have to consider is hopefully next month, we need to set an agenda item to appoint an emergency management coordinator. So the emergency management coordinator's duties are explained inside of the emergency operations plan that's in front of you. It's normally separated away from an elected official. It could be somebody from the fire department, the police department, public works. It could be somebody independent of all of those. It's a non-paid position, unless we want to make it a paid position for some reason. But the duties are spelled out. We just need to appoint someone so that we have that for record, and it's a requirement of the emergency operations plan prior to the final submittal. Any questions? Sorry that you guys are just now taking a look at it.
Thank you for your work and with leadership on this.
It's taken a little while, but it's saved us quite a bit of money as a community. So, if anybody has any questions, anything that needs to get changed on it or added, anything like that, please email me, let me know, or give me a call. Certainly can meet up and talk about it as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony.
Yep.
Do we have any idea what the timeline is on how long you think Tony will take to review it?
They told me give them just a handful of days and they should have it.
Okay, so we should have this ready to go by next board meeting then?
I would assume that we would have it through public safety to take one last look at it and have it up to the board meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. Item 6B, update regarding Cajun fill site in general. I don't have any updates. I know Will was going to go out and do a post-rain inspection if it stops raining.
It's the same it was in the fall.
Yeah.
We're waiting for warm weather and sun.
Right. Thanks, Eric. Item 6C, update regarding Collier test boring for the municipal well in a TID. Eric already touched on this. We had 4 test holes punched in the ground. We had one of them for sure that produced about 150 gallons a minute with only a 4-inch drawdown.
4 foot drawdown.
4 foot?
4 foot, which is still, you've got a significant amount of water there, so that'd be good, especially when you open it up. What we're waiting for right now before they do anything else is let it dry up. They're gonna pump the other well test, pump it, and then we're also waiting for the water test to come back. One of the things that's kind of on the border is how much nitrates are in the water from all the fertilizer and stuff that's there. So
You said the second one that looks promising, so that one hasn't been pumped yet, just looks
they
promising?
pumped it, but we'd like to put a long draw on and
Short
stuff.
test, yeah.
The problem is I knew it when we started coming out, it was melting. And of course, we've had all the rain and it's
Right, the ground's soggy.
a little bit.
What, how deep was that second one?
I think they're both in a 145 to 165 range.
Any other questions? Thanks, Eric. Move along. Item 7, new business, consideration and approval of the following operators license applicants. Papa Stash, Andrea Hoppy.
No reason not to approve, recommend approval.
Motion to approve, Andrea.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7B, discussion, consideration, and possible action on employee evaluation forms. We got these out to all the department heads last month. Any feedback?
We're good with it.
Okay.
You guys use your own in the police department, correct?
If you'd like, if we can continue that, I'll let
No.
you
Told them you had to use.
Okay,
That was last month's discussion.
right, well,
Prefer to use one across the board unless there was a reason not to, but.
you were good with it?
I never got one.
You're good with it?
Hang on, Eric. I'll trade with you.
Would you like to?
I was gonna say, I can give you,
I think 4 copies of that.
they're fairly basic employee evaluation forms. We were just looking to see if any of the department heads had comments. Carla not being here, there's no comment from her. I haven't heard anything from her either way on it.
I think we need to move forward and pass this and set the deadlines of getting them completed.
Agreed.
Yeah, there was discussion last time on whether or not the self-evaluation was required or recommended. Remember? So,
I think we said that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm
The board-
reiterating what
The board recommends
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
It's
That was-
required,
that-
you'll be given one, you can submit it blank if you choose.
Yeah, that was the question I had brought up last month.
Right.
Thanks,
It's
Kelly.
Led to some discussion, that's what
Yes.
I remember. So-
Yep.
You can
So the
submit
key
blank.
is you give it out to your employees, if they fill it out, or if they choose not to fill it out, then that's on them.
Give dates.
I'm waiting for a motion.
I'll make a motion to
Dates.
approve use of the new employee evaluation forms.
Okay, we
Can
got
we
a
set
motion
dates,
and a
though?
second.
Can we set dates?
Yeah.
We'll do that in the discussion, I guess, or,
Yeah.
we'll get these out to the department heads this week.
Next week.
Sorry, that's Thursday, next week. And I would say probably by the middle of May, the department heads should require or request that their self-evaluations are turned back in and have the final evaluations done by the June 1st or beginning of June board meeting.
What needs to be done by the June board meeting? Those staff details.
Yes, evaluations from the supervisors or department heads.
Is that enough
Done
time?
and given, correct?
Correct.
Is that enough time? We're given 7 weeks to get the cell phones back and to do the employee ones?
Yes.
Delivered?
I do 40.
Fire?
Is that enough time for the fire department? I mean, you get 3 chiefs, you could probably
Do I
divvy it up,
cover?
divide the
We
contract,
should,
yes.
we should
We should be
be.
able to.
Right.
We may, I know you want them back by what do you call, we may say, hey, we want them back within 30 days and. and
Yeah,
then-
whatever you guys said, but I mean, we just want to be able to move forward with this before we hit budget, so we can, you know,
Yeah.
give raises based on performance and not just willy-nilly.
So did you actually set dates or just guidelines of mid-May and?
Mid-May and first, well, I don't want to set a hard date
June
for
board meeting.
June
evals
board
will be
meeting
completed.
is,
Yeah.
Leaders can make the decision of when their staff self-evals are due.
There you go.
but that gives them almost a month to do the real evals.
Is this
Okay.
an annual or biannual?
I believe this will be annual.
Yeah, most of the places I've worked, it's annual.
Right. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Is this gonna be the same form across the board or not?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Elena, are you gonna send it out electronically, or is it fillable electronically, or not?
It's a Word doc.
I can create a
Make
PDF
it a
fillable.
PDF, yeah.
Too, yeah.
better, so then somebody doesn't accidentally mess with
Yeah,
formatting and
make it
stuff.
easier for. Yeah.
Would you like it electronically?
Yeah, it might be easier.
It might be
A little
easy.
mix of both?
Yeah, that probably would help out
Sure,
if we could.
absolutely. I'll get that done hopefully tomorrow. Send it to me, please.
Not back till Tuesday.
It's in your email already, right? Did you send it via
The
email?
Word doc is,
Yeah.
okay. I'll get that in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did I ask if anybody was opposed?
Yep, nobody did.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item 7C, discussion, consideration, and possible action on local government training for village board members. It just come up from finance. Finance recommends all newly elected board members and any existing ones that wish to attend the local government 101, either the webinar or you can attend in person at your cost. We'll pay for the schooling portion of it, though, the $110 fee. There's 2 webinars, one's Friday, May 6th, the other one's Friday, September 9th.
This is something really good. I went through it back when I got on board, and I think it was very good, basic knowledge of government 101, you know, so it's something really beneficial to everybody.
If you have a date you're looking at attending, please get in touch with the clerk and she'll make the arrangements, just not tomorrow or Monday.
And I think we talked about we could actually do it in here.
Yeah, if you want to do the webinar, we could hook a laptop
Different
up to
people could
the,
come in and do it in here together. You know.
the webinar's 4 segments, I guess, and you can do them in
Yeah, it
different times.
says that down below, you can mix and match or do it all in one day. 4 modules.
And when you go to it, it's, I don't know, it seems like, the one I went to was in Pewaukee, and I think you got there at 9, but then there was a social time period, and then they actually got into it, and they had lunch, and just the basic training, and a lot of questions if you wanted to or whatever. And I think the thing was done by 2, 3 o'clock, so it's not as long as what
Sure.
you'd think it would be. And then I would think the webinar, you could run through that at about whatever speed you wanted to, you know.
No action needed on that one?
Yeah, I think we do need action because the village board is going to spend money to cover the cost of, the actual.
I make a motion that the village funds the $110 for, new trustees and those that have not attended before to cover the cost of the $110 fee for the class.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7D, discussion, consideration, and possible action on Vector Solutions invoice for the fire department. We approved this at finance at the mid-month, but it's got to come before the board. They got a new software that Chief was telling you about before, and they're willing to pay for it out of their donation account, $4,057. Just get a motion to approve.
How's that working out?
Good, actually. Yeah, we've been implementing it. In fact, the past 2 weeks, well, last week we didn't have training because of spraying and bug issue, so we kind of kept everybody away. But it's been working great. We've been listing out trainings and things like that. People complete them and we're able to log in, see everything, what people are doing, how they're progressing with the trainings and stuff that we're doing, so.
We're still learning how to use it. We have to get, Lindsay and Michael are very good on it, so we have to get it done to learn the system better ourselves to.
Probably a good reminder for even the leadership to stay on top of it too, I would think.
Oh, absolutely.
Those paper file things from my memory of being in it, was a pain.
Yeah, we've been entering in all the
All the
trainings.
trainings and fire calls have been entered in now. It'll be a lot easier for us. Once we figure out how to pull reports off there, it'll be a lot easier for us to come up with payroll for trainings and fires and that too.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it's a real all-inclusive program. We were quite pleased. A lot of the fire departments in the county have been switching over to this system as well, so.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bills paid. Item 7E, discussion, consideration, and possible action on the development agreement and stormwater management agreement for Ripple Brook East subdivision. The applicant / property owner is Steven Stiza. This went through the planning commission. There was a few minor verbiage tweaks that were made, but the planning commission recommended board approval. Any comments from engineer Alt or attorney Schilber?
One word,
Yeah, I saw. Get rid of if.
yeah, there's an if in there that shouldn't be. So,
Where's that at, John?
it would be 9. So page, well, actually page 11. So you just go to it about bottom of that big paragraph in the middle or at the bottom of 2. Just says, so that, yeah, if the developer terminates the surety and they're deemed in violation of the agreement, and the village board shall have the authority to draw upon the letter of credit if at any time, but then that's it. So
Yeah.
without the if, it just says at any time if they're in default, then we can use the letter of credit. So that's it. One word. Hopefully that won't slow things down and further.
Can you describe again where it's at?
Oh, in the big paragraph on 11 there, the middle,
Yep, the last sentence.
lower left-hand corner there, there's an if at the bottom line. If at any time.
Get rid of that if.
Yeah, superfluous if. Easy for me to say.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Wait.
No?
Uh-oh.
I think you said in the email too, unless there's like a couple of other words, because I know we wanted to add one word in one of the paragraphs and remove 3 words in another paragraph.
As long as it doesn't change the substance, it's just
It's, one is,
grammatical change.
yeah, one is in regards to inspection, because it says that the engineer gives notice to the municipality, like, but 48-hour notice, but it should be the municipality and the developer, not just the municipality for inspections. I need to get notice of inspections also.
Like routine erosion control inspections?
It says inspections.
Okay, so.
Under inspections, it says just,
we
that
can
you
take
give the
notice.
municipality 48-hour notice, not me. I need to know.
Sure, we can.
That's it.
Where's that at?
Where in this is this?
Was that sent out today?
Pardon?
Were those comments sent today?
Well, I just no, I think it was discussed in the past.
Oh, okay,
but-
that's fine, Mike briefed me
Yeah.
before the meeting, so I'm kind of like, I just want to make sure
And
there was
then,
something.
and then the other one was under insurance, the first 3 words we removed.
The developer
Well,
and
Yeah,
what we could do is if we're otherwise ready to approve it,
other than that, it's fine.
maybe they could send those changes to us and prove it subject to our review to make sure it doesn't change the
What,
substance.
page 13? Page 13?
Under insurance, number 1, the first 3 words are the same.
First 3,
He wants that removed?
for the developer to provide, insurance.
Oh, about that, I'm sorry, under insurance you said?
Page 13.
Oh, page 13.
are you saying that you don't want to have insurance?
I have insurance, but I don't need to provide insurance for myself to the village. I'm not performing any work on site.
All contractors working for the developer.
It's liability insurance. I mean, I own the property, but I fall down, I'm going to sue myself.
Well, then you have to
You want
have
it.
coverage for the actual property.
I'm not building a library like I'm a general contractor, but I need to provide insurance.
I defer to the attorney.
Is that the 3 words, or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
is that-
Yeah,
there's
the
three, he wants
developer
Developer
and,
and is what he wants to trick.
so he wants to remove that he needs to have insurance.
I'm not saying, I'm saying not to provide the certificate of insurance.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not, Mike's been the one looking at the agreement, but it would seem that we're talking about insurance regarding construction of improvements.
Yes.
So while the improvements like streets and stuff are being built out, I would
Yes.
think you have insurance during that time period.
We'll talk to Mike.
Okay, yeah,
So do we try to approve this conditional on staff approval after these changes are discussed?
Where does this get?
Well, he said in an email it'd be okay as long as there's just, only a few minor changes.
I think this changes the content of that
Well,
whole section.
here's the options. I'd see if you'd like an approval tonight, I think we could approve it with at least the if taken out that we've identified. And then if there's some other changes that either have been discussed or you want, we could come back with that being modified. I mean, if you're comfortable with that, but I don't know if there's a time crunch here where you want to get going on anything or.
I'm not gonna go till May anyways, so it's, I wanna build a good library.
Yeah, well, what's your?
I
preference?
mean, see, part of it is too, you're asking me to provide you with all the insurance certificates prior to construction, but I'm still negotiating between the road builders to get, some of my suppliers to get better pricing. Then I ask them for an insurance certificate, then they think they got the job, but I may end up giving it to somebody else, and then, I have less leverage. Typically, you don't pay anybody until they provide you with an insurance certificate and or lien waiver. So it's kind of like putting the cart ahead of the horse.
Have you talked to Attorney Mike Schober? Because we've been talking about this developers agreement for months.
Right.
So I'm kind of surprised that this is, I think this is a change that, I know Mike's been spending a lot of time on it. So I'm kind of surprised that this is coming up on a day that we're looking for approval.
Well, my attorney, they've been talking about it, I don't know, the whole time.
Yeah, so just wanted to, we've been working on this for months, so.
I know, 8 months.
You mentioned the first change, but where exactly is that first change? You said you didn't know where it was.
You mean to add the word?
48. With the 48 hours.
Yes.
I was looking for that one too.
Page 7,
Inspections.
page 7, under 4C, second to last.
Advance notice of not less than 48 hours for all inspections of public improvements and stabilization of stormwater management facilities shall be made to
What you're talking about?
I think that one's reasonable. He should be notified too, whether or not he attends it, that's up to him, but.
Well, I need to know who's on my property.
Yep, agreed.
No, I have no issue with that one.
You can
We
prove
were
what
just
that one's
wondering-
for. We get a big rain.
I mean, I don't, we've never had to, I think in the ordinance it says if you need to do an inspection and there's a complaint, you have access to the property.
Right.
Do an inspection.
And with the MS4, we have the right to inspect after.
Right.
After a 1 inch of rain.
I mean, if
Well, I
we're,
think it's a half.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
you know, if we're coming out to do a substantial completion inspection,
That's way different.
that's one thing.
Right.
If we're coming out because there's water, you know, muddy water going into the creek.
You're not gonna wait 48 hours. You would notify,
No,
say, hey, I'm going
yes,
out.
I would absolutely want to talk with, the
Well,
developer.
it needs to be reasonable.
Well, MS4, when you go out.
I'm saying it is reasonable if, you know, if you have a half inch of rain and somebody's complaining, well, then obviously show up, you know.
Well, when you do MS4,
Right.
MS4 inspections, if it rains, we don't usually make a call, we go out and inspect right away.
Yeah.
If you want a courtesy call, that's fine, but, nowhere in the past that we didn't do it with Cajun, we haven't done it with
I'm talking
anybody
about
else.
the public improvement, the road.
Public improvement inspections, and then we'll be out there for, you know, inspecting the road. I mean, we'll be working together, so that, I have no problem with 48 hours. Yeah, if we're gonna, you know, sign off on a substantial completion, absolutely, we can give you 48 hours.
So,
So back to that.
back to those
Insurance piece.
3 words.
I would agree with Naomi that it does really change that paragraph, and I would defer to the attorney on recommendation for that.
So, John, can we approve this pending Mike's input on those 3 words? Or is that too
Well,
substantive?
I think it's substantive. I guess the approval would be that if it didn't affect, if dissatisfaction didn't affect things, then it could be changed. But let me just read the input that Mike had. About 4 o'clock this afternoon, he had reviewed it. There was only comment related to the thing we talked about, the if otherwise acceptable. If any issues remain unresolved, and if the board sees fit, approval can be made subject to staff approval. That would be for technical things. It says that procedure isn't available if there are major unresolved issues that the board must deal with as a matter of policy. Insurance sounds like it would be, you know, matter of policy. If it is totally waiving a requirement to, maintain insurance on the public improvements while they're being constructed, which I would assume the developer has to be insured. But again, I've got about 15 minutes of briefing on this right now, as of this afternoon.
We have time, should we just table it?
So can we approve it as is, and then it gets
Could be amended or changed.
amended?
Yeah, what you could do is if you, we could approve it with the one change at least that I mentioned, and if there wasn't an objection that Naomi had as to the other part, we could approve it. If the developer weren't satisfied and then were to approach us and say, you know, we want you to rethink this provision because here's why, then it could be reapproved with an amendment next
Are
meeting.
you happy with that? And if this has been worked on for 8 months, this should have been taken care of long before this meeting. I'm fine with approving it with that staying in there and approving the other 2 changes, removing the if and adding that the developer be notified.
Do you guys want me to do this development? I mean, I really feel like the whole process, you've been pushing me up against the wall, and I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I haven't been pushing you over against any wall.
Steve, are you saying you submitted this, that you didn't want to be insured?
It
That's
had been
communicated?
discussed with your brother. You know, when you can't approve it like you said, you know, in the email that approve it, and then if there's some other slight changes, it's for us to work out. I mean, it's a slight change. I mean, it's 3 words to a, whatever, 3,000 word document.
So you're saying you're okay with being approved, subject to staff agreeing to your
Yeah,
three
yes.
words?
Yes.
Okay, so then it's, if staff doesn't agree, that
Then-
changes it to.
Okay, then we go back, right?
No, well, wait a minute. I think he's wanting you to approve it with the change, and then we go back if we don't like it.
No,
No.
no, he didn't say that. He
Okay.
said
Just want to be
it would
clear.
be approved with the two changes, subject to the attorney in this case apparently not having any objection to
The third change.
removal of the three words,
Yes.
Okay.
removing the insurance
Okay.
provision.
Just want to be clear.
And just for the record, if the attorney doesn't agree with that, the
Then it
insurance
stays
provision is
in.
still in.
Okay,
Okay?
yep, thank you.
Motion to restart.
That's what we started in,
Yes.
Yeah,
but that's good, we could talk through it, so.
yeah, that's my motion.
Nice.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Steve.
I'll make a note to get together with Mike.
Okay.
Item 7F, discussion, consideration, and possible action on a letter of credit for the Ripplebrook East subdivision. The applicant / property owner is Steven Stiza. Naomi?
Sure. So, we worked with Mr. Stiza on the unit costs. These are unit costs for items that are in line with current changes to the Wisconsin State Statute of Section 236.13, which is a little different than we've done in the past. With these recent changes, some of the items that we have bonded for in the past are not included with financial surety. Those items are listed in my attached memo, including excavation and detention facilities, grading of the site up to subgrade and fine grading, and excavation and backfill for culverts and pond outlet structure installation. And I just wanted to point that out because that's a new change. That's something that all parties have looked into, have had a lot of discussion on. Mike Schober's been doing a lot of work on seeing what those changes mean to the municipality. And this is, I ran this by Mike before I sent it over. And I think you agree with the numbers that are presented in this letter of credit of $315,669.50. These are updated unit costs based on recent prices for petroleum products and asphalt, and everything has gone up. So Mr. Stiza did submit updated unit costs recently. So I appreciate that.
Anybody have any questions?
And we are getting 120% of this cost in bond.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Item G, discussion, consideration, and possible action on an event in Village Park on May 21st, 2022.
So, was contacted about this event through Bud, one of our vendors for the Rumble. I can't tell you who they are right now. I can tell you that we're one of 3 villages, cities, whatever, in the Midwest that are vying for this event. This event is a cornhole contest, but it's sponsored by 2 huge corporations. And Budweiser looked at us and said, when we do the Rumble and stuff, this would be a great place to start. I don't have more information at this time. Some of you got a copy of what it is. I just can't reveal everything on it. So I would ask that you trust me on this, but it would be a great thing for the village. I know the chief's been brought up to speed on it and stuff. I did not get a chance to talk to John or Jamie on it. Just kind of gave them a little bit of an insight. These people are thinking 1,000 people. I'm thinking it could be a little bit more, 1 to 3.
basically what we're asking for here is reserving the park and possible.
Right, I think the park reserved, but I want the board to, you know, put their blessing on this.
Anything that we're gonna have to do, or time requirements by you or anything?
Well, this is coming up pretty quick, that's why we have it on here. It's gonna be May 21st.
Are we responsible to provide any police or EMS or?
That I've talked to the chief on and stuff like that, and I'm dealing with their events person right now to make sure we have everything in line, and they should be the ones paying for it.
Are they willing to cover that cost? Because, you know, police and fire are gonna have some costs there.
Right, they're gonna get a rundown from me probably on Monday. They understand that right from the beginning.
What do we have, Michelle is right, what do we have to do as a DPW to get this ready to go? And you said this is gonna be back behind where the rumble's held, right? in that
Right,
field
where we
right there.
usually park all the cars and everything, our trucks.
So,
Does this impact any of the baseball, or we don't have any baseball slotted for that weekend?
we don't want anybody on baseball field. No.
Right, so
Well,
we're taking that into play?
when I looked at the schedule, which he has to update, there was nothing there. If it's too wet back there, obviously it's a no-go.
I looked at it too, there's nothing for baseball practice or games or anything like that. You'll basically just have mowing cost. May 21st, you could have pretty good growth, so you could have a little higher than normal. So you may have to cut it 2-3 times or whatever.
No, I don't wanna cut it that short. I know what you're saying, but we'll see what happens. We've got enough moisture in the ground now. So what this is, it's a cornhole contest. It's by two huge corporations within the United States. And we got it because one of these corporations does advertising. Or one of these corporations uses this company for their advertising.
Are we requesting a lot of volunteers?
They are looking for maybe for a few people for parking. And other than that, they cover everything.
But your parking's donated to something else, right?
It's farm rescue.
I think it's an exciting opportunity for the village. I would say that it's something that we want to do, and we make a motion to pass, pending the logistics of it, making sure that we can provide the police and EMS support if it's needed.
And that's covered by cost-wise, but it sounds like you've already had that conversation, so that's good.
Yes.
And
Just
they'll
continue.
provide us the insurance certificates and stuff, and then we have to approve the rental of the park, or are we waiving that, or what?
Well, we gotta do the park rental. I've already reserved that day. What they're gonna need to get is a
Liquor license?
liquor license and stuff like that, which they know about. So,
When would we know if we were awarded this?
I'm not sure, but it's moving quick.
Well, it's
I'd
gonna
say
be
so.
6
May
weeks away,
21st
so.
for a major
Right.
event.
They're probably gonna have to sign
Cornhole's
something
like
with the
bean
village.
bag.
Thanks.
Can't grant the
That's kind of question.
Yeah, what's the reason for the secrecy on who they are?
I'm like, you want to have what?
Can I address that?
Sure.
There is a product release coordinated with the event,
Okay,
and they don't want the product getting out before the event
fair enough.
because
Okay,
it's,
it's tied to something.
yeah, millions of dollars in advertising.
All right, that makes sense.
And I'm good with the police law, second generation.
I think you have the right concerns and questions that you're asking, so I agree with Michelle, I think it could be really cool, so.
As long as the weather's cooperates.
Right.
Great, make it stop.
It's gonna be nice and beautiful.
What is the motion for? Just
My motion
To
was to
approve the park
approve
rental
it,
and,
pending the EMS and police support.
I mean,
Oh, no, it wasn't.
someone will still have to come before public safety or board to liquor license or picnic license or whatever.
Yeah, that has to be.
Right.
So they'll need to know that, we'll have to approve that.
Yeah.
Do we have a park use agreement or anything for commercial enterprise? I mean, the Rumble's doing semi-commercial thing, you know.
Do you know the answer to
I
that?
thought we had something for liability.
We have to provide us insurance, we have a commercial type, I don't believe so, I don't know for sure.
Okay, any,
Are you saying we need one, Jim?
Well, we should definitely have insurance if somebody's coming in. I mean, a family having a picnic is of use, where it's a commercial enterprise using village lands for an event. I think we need to have the insurance covered, hold harmless or whatever type of thing, so.
I think we did that for the
There was
Rumble.
some sort of agreement.
I think we did that for the Rumble.
And we have that for the baseball teams and stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right, to come to think of it, I think there
We
was
have to
something
do
about a
that.
use agreement with the,
Can we use that?
well, at least as a template.
Because we have one for the park usage, and then the agreement is separate from that.
Okay, then that rings a bell now that we did have that, and that
Okay.
they had to maintain insurance or
So when we
whatever.
work on baseball contracts, we can look at that. And then as soon as you know, we can throw it together.
Yeah, maybe approve it subject to the agreement being signed. At some point, they'll be able to sign and take it.
Yeah, that's my motion.
Amended motion?
It's a general park use of stuff, yeah.
Jeff, did you second?
Yes.
yes,
Do you agree with my amended?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7H.
President Eric, if there's any implementation issues, we're good at confidentiality in our office. It's kind of goes with the job.
If you wanna know afterwards, I can.
No, I'm just saying if there's a way to move it further along to a point before something legally has to be approved or issued or whatever, we can sort of try to figure out to address. Yeah, otherwise I'm not nosy,
All right, item 7H, discussion, consideration, and possible action on row home cemetery expansion drone footage.
So I want to apologize to everybody, I thought that we would be able to send everybody an email with this with the drone footage we had. That's not, didn't happen. Elaine spent a lot of time getting this in the I guess with PowerPoint that you were able to get it in. So thank you for her. I know it took her a long time, but so this you're gonna have to. This is the main part of the cemetery, the one we're using now. So let's go to. I haven't seen the video here yet, so I'll have to take a look here.
So you get it to play. Well, that looks nice.
Pretty.
I don't know why it's not playing there. Oh. There. They are nauseating, that's what they are.
So this area, well, depends on what she's going to turn here. If he swings to the right here, I want you to. All right there. Can you stop it there? So we already have the culvert in here that we paid the county $500 and some to get the permit for. And this is an area here that we're trying to use. And on the bottom part and the top part where we can use for burials, but it's very thin. So our proposal was that we would take from this driveway here all the way down to the big power tower and put a road in there for them. We didn't get anywhere with that in previous years, but we thought we'd come back with a kind of a different angle on this. Go ahead and roll it, would you? The problem is we only have a little bit on this side and we have a little bit on this side. Again, that road is going to run down there. And I hope he was able to go up high enough and do an overhead shot of
There's several videos here.
on top of the lines.
I'm not sure, I can't watch it. It's like
Who did the drone footage?
Chuck did.
Chuck Dean.
Is that tower right there, is that down the hill?
This is
On
on,
top of the hill, yeah.
well, it's still pretty much on the top of the hill. Okay, okay, keep going once.
It's going,
It's going.
they're huge
Okay.
files.
So just stop it there once. So from this tower to the other tower that's in the marshy area there, you're gonna lose. I'm height challenged here, but you're gonna be losing this much of the cemetery. The whole area there is gonna be gone, which takes about a third of the cemetery away. Let's keep going once. And basically from that white garage there across, we can't bury anything there because of the floodwaters. Now we were talking about how are we gonna do this with this big hill here and stuff like that. You know, everybody's saying fill it, and this does not show it that well, but it's a significant. I apologize for this. I don't do a drone and anything like that. It's just a little longer here than I expected.
Eric, is it possible to bring the road down underneath the High Line?
That's what we want to do.
I mean, like directly underneath it?
Here's your aerial.
Here's your big aerial.
Okay, so I hope he flies to the west so you can see. But you can kind of see the area that's underneath. This whole area here we will lose if we can't do anything with this. That whole area underneath there, I think when I forget, between that and some of the other stuff where the lines go, you're looking at about 800 graves. You're talking over $800,000 that the village would lose in revenue.
Where are the current openings?
So can you reverse that at all?
What do you mean? Like back to the beginning of this one?
So that's good right there. Keep going a little bit if you can keep going. Okay, so what we have left is this area right in here. That's all I have left in the whole cemetery.
You said that's about 160?
Yes.
Then you can edge over a little bit towards the High Line until we determine if we can work out any type of an agreement with ATC.
Right.
Why is there such a difference in the grass color change from the one to the?
So this is all turf, the yard would be. This over here is a field that we've been cutting. We want to get in there and level that, and then we want to put seed down.
Okay.
Do you want me to hit play?
Yeah, let's just see where it goes. So here's one of the areas in the back we talked about moving to the north. So we're on the north side looking south, and I know you see the piles there. That's a pretty significant drop that needs to be filled in. We need to do something else. I think when we shot it, it was 22 feet below the top grade of the cemetery up there.
So hypothetically, if you can't do anything with the easement underneath the high line that ATC has, if we could put a road in there, that road comes down, it would come down fairly flat and we wouldn't have that drop off that's there. Right?
Here,
Back over to the high line. It looks like it's a transitional area.
it is, it's just, this part here is an area that if we would just grade it off and stuff like that, there'd be a 20-foot drop. And if you were gonna fill that, you're talking years to fill it.
But if you go over here to where the high line is, it's at grade, it just
Right.
comes down slowly. You could have a road that goes by the high line.
So if you look where the truck is now,
Lower end of it.
so that truck, you see where that truck is?
Yeah.
There is a road that's, it's not a gravel road, but it's a road that we use for getting in and out of there.
Right, so instead of trying to come straight over the hill,
Right.
you use a double loop basically to bring it down to the transitional area underneath the high line and back around.
And
I
just
mean,
re-
if we can't do anything with the easement,
Well, if you do that down here, this is farm field, you're gonna have to have it in the grass for 2 years before you can ever use it. It's something to think about, but we need to come up with, and I had it at the cemetery board, and we were at Public Works too, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this is something you need to have a cemetery planner come in and lay some of this stuff out.
when did Big Ben take over the cemetery?
2014.
At that time, was there any discussion on how access or how it was going to be staged to go down to that lower area? I mean, is there any historical evidence we can look at?
It's just, we did not expect the influx that we've had either. When we started out, we were doing 12 burials in a month, now we're up to 40. Or 12 burials a year, now we're up to 40.
So why couldn't we put that road in fairly soon and go down to the bottom side of it? And
So we've come from up there where the culvert is, come down to here. And you can see there's part of this here. My initial intentions were to connect all that, clean some of this stuff out of here, and then come over here and start with plotting and stuff like that. This has already been surveyed and plotted. ATI did that work, I want to say 3 years ago.
plotted for down below.
It's all been plotted and everything for all the stakings and the burials.
So why couldn't we just take and use the bottom part down there away from the drop off as a regular cemetery since it's plotted? And then where the drop off is someday in the future, wouldn't have to be now, we could take and get in there and grade that out and create like columbariums and stuff like that. And that we could use that drop off to our advantage and not even fill it.
If you're gonna put above ground barriers or something there, you're gonna be in trouble.
Why is that?
Because the wind that comes across, anybody that's been up to the cemetery, I think Jamie's been up there quite a bit. You go up there, the wind there rips, and the drifts and stuff that you're gonna have in that area would be phenomenal.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cemeteries that have these things.
They do, but they don't have the wind issues that we have.
Well, I'm sure some of them do. You know, I think you've got a way there that you could use that bottom part of the cemetery and not do much anything with that cliff for right now. And so that you could actually use that, and that would buy you time to take and, you know, have some time to negotiate with the ATC, and then later on decide what you want to do with it. I don't think you want to fill it, it's gonna be way too much to try to fill.
You don't want to fill it, no.
But you could stay away from it now and at least start using it down below. And I think you need to plan that now.
I do.
Did we have an idea how many plots were to the north there, in that lower section?
Some sort of,
How many plots were available in that lower section to the north?
up here where it's,
No, down, the northern section.
On the lower.
The real north.
Yeah, if we were to actually tap into that with a road, how many plots are we gonna have access to?
I thought there was, I think it was about 400.
It looks like it's gotta be about as much as what you got up top.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like a lot. plot space.
Is there only 400 plots up top?
There's what?
How many up
plots
top?
are up top?
Jeff, remember too that he's cut off a little bit there to the north because he can't go all the way because of flooding.
Right, yeah, I understand it, yeah.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
But you still have a pretty big sized field down there.
You do, but that's all drain tile too. These are farm fields, this isn't like somebody went out and,
Oh, hey, we know that there's gonna be prep, it's not gonna be like you can bury tomorrow. But you're gonna have to plan now so that maybe 2 years down the road, you can start using that.
okay?
And I don't even know where anybody's at on the negotiation with the power company.
We haven't really pushed that right yet. I know John and Mike were sending me some stuff on it. So we did this on a spur, just to get some idea of where it is. I wish it would have flew higher over the wires and stuff like that. I wasn't there when he took this. I was in a meeting.
But personally, I think I can see what you need to do and how you need to get started. And I think, maybe send it back to the cemetery board and you can figure out what you want to do, but we can't sit and wait for the power company, and we can't.
We need to have a plan. I don't believe in putting the roof on the house without having a foundation.
In the cemetery,
I think you hit the nail on the head
Come
with
with a
getting a
plan.
planner in.
What's that?
Getting a cemetery planner in.
You do.
Defer to the cemetery board on, interviewing them and hiring them.
but you need to do that now.
Get someone to come in here this summer and plan it and tell you what it's gonna
Correct.
cost and what you need to do and what you can do.
We need to move along with the stuff with ATC. I know it's been a bumpy road in the past. Maybe there's some solution. If not, we're gonna run it up as far as we possibly can.
Yeah, if you parallel that, right, because you start strategizing on what you can do, especially if it's got a 2-year lead time on being able to tap into that land, start that process now and just parallel the
Right.
conversations with ATC. Whatever shakes out there, but at least you're starting down the path of getting a new land access.
So you're already plotted, right? So what does your planner need to do for you?
Well, you don't. If you want to just do a Caldwell cemetery and put everything out in the field, that's fine. But you've got a lot of trees and stuff there, and I don't want to be. There's some trees that are going to have to come down anyway because they're rotted. Okay.
Sure.
But you're going to have to be some grading and stuff like that. We just can't throw bodies on some of this stuff.
Oh, yeah,
That's,
yeah. But do you have an idea of, you've already got plotting done, so do you kind of have an idea of where the planner is gonna look at to take and grade that out or whatever?
To me, those guys are like magicians because they move everything around, make it look right. Okay, you don't want to be doing the groundwork after you've got people buried.
Oh, right, yeah,
So-
yeah.
It's just that we're getting very close, and I figure I've got 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, but it has to start now so we can get this stuff rolling.
Absolutely. I think we're all in agreement of that, so take it to the cemetery board and give some kind of plan and bring it back and we'll work with it.
Okay.
Because I think we all agree something needs to get going and something needs to get done.
That's all I have.
Thank you for the drone footage.
Thank you very much.
I was hoping to do a better.
Well, that helps. That's good.
It is, it's just not on the one in your packet.
Your agendas in your packets are incorrect. The ones that were posted are correct.
That's what I saw it, and I'm like, look
I
at
did
this
too.
page, and I'm like, it's not on there.
We'll move along to item 7I, discussion, consideration, and possible action on parking restrictions on Riverside Drive.
So this was brought to public safety. There's issues with parking down by the river. As many of you are probably aware. We have a business that uses our launch who brings kayaks here, as well as individuals that use it. When they park there, there is a concern of people crossing the street, trying to come up behind vehicles, things like that. Just creates a safety issue, as well as trying to get emergency service vehicles out from the firehouse down there, up the road, if we need to. So our plan is that we would put no parking on both sides. And then if you do launch or whatever, you would then pull and park further away, which is common for many places that have boat launch facilities. In fact, some of them don't even offer parking, and you have to go find street parking elsewhere off-site that could be up to a block plus away. So I don't think this is unreasonable, and I think it has to do with the safety of those that use it, as well as those that live in the village to be able to get our fire equipment out. So.
Is this something that the police department's agreed with and is willing to monitor and
So there'll be no parking signs. We did a resolution. John, I took the resolution from Dreamcatcher when we did that last year, and it's basically rewrote it for Riverside.
Yeah, the verbiage is all good. I pulled it up again. I glanced at it before and saw that the resolution was there already. So, yeah, I guess if we were gonna go forward with the draft you have, Chief, we'd probably just need a resolution number.
And a couple of changes, but yeah.
Yeah, and then,
DPW and police were both at the table for this discussion on public safety.
yeah, DPW has no power to enforce, so we'd have to make sure the police department's on board with enforcing it.
Well, I think once they're posted on both sides, one of the problems is this guy can zoom his canoes, and that's great. I like to see him making money. But you'll have sometimes 30 or 40 people all standing on the road, and we'll have a talk with them prior to them purchasing a decal this year. But, you know, these guys, when they're coming in for fire department, they're coming in to go to work. And that can have a negative effect on them getting in there. So it's something that we thought about, and also Chief will tell you that these guys park just about every place they can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mark the 3 spots that you can park right by the boat launch. Then we'll put another sign up that directs them down by the DPW. They can park on the north side, or the other parking lots over here by the tennis courts, right outside the library and the police department there. They can park their stuff there. But it's getting to be where you have way too much stuff down there. And Michelle's right, you know, little kid runs off from one of them cars or trucks there. It's not gonna be a good day.
Can we mark it so that all the trailer parking is up by the tennis courts?
Is that where you want it to go?
Well, like Michelle says, many boat launches, you have to.
It's a height, it's not like.
A good share of them, it's a height. Because there's a lot of people that use the park, we have the ball diamonds now that are being used, you have
Well, and the
ball
parking
teams.
by the ball diamonds and by DPW does not, you can't fit a boat.
No, I mean, they just take up so
Trailer
many,
attached car.
and then that causes problems there with the people who are contracting to have ball games down there, and people wanna come in and picnic.
So if we wanna put them up here, that's fine. It's just, we're running out of space with a lot of things here.
Yeah, we're probably gonna need to mark them, you know, but I think
I think we can move forward with this no parking as the season starts, where people start launching, things like that, to make sure that it's safe.
We're also looking at charging a commercial fee. I was in contact with the DNR, I sent the information to the chief. We have not got a response back yet. We can charge commercial more than we can charge regular,
He was
general
paying
public.
one launch fee that you and I would pay for an annual pass, but he's launching umpteen kayaks
He
at
has
a
one
time.
permit and launches 20 or 30 kayaks.
Pardon me?
He has one permit and launches 20 or 30 kayaks or canoes.
Well, we made him buy 2 permits because it comes in 2 different vehicles.
Okay.
So, if you're ever down here, and I know you've been down here a couple times during the summer, there can be a lot of people there, especially when they'll bring a whole busload of people in and have them go on there, which is great. We want everybody to use the park. The parking is the issue.
well, our launch fees per unit, right? So if we didn't have a commercial, we could enforce a per unit.
Or is there, if I'm gonna go down there and launch my kayak, is it, that a special fee for that, or is it different than a boat?
No, it's the same fee.
Same?
And it's not really, you know, it's not like we're asking for an absorbent amount to increase the launch. It's enough that we can put money back into it to sustain it.
We're talking about parking though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting a little sidetracked. You put no parking up and down that road, now you've got to contend with the Lions Club there as well. You know, there is no reserved parking or anything anywhere up there outside of maybe a handicap spot at the Lions Club.
The Lions Club participants can also park, you know, up along and.
No, I'm saying like,
village parking, things
say
like that.
Michelle Clark has the Lions Club or the community center rented out for a birthday party, and she shows up and there's 45 boats and trailers parked there.
Well, the Lions Club doesn't have 45 spots.
Okay, they're all full, but with boat launch people.
I think the Lions Club should post no
Lions
parking.
Club, I agree, Lions Club's gonna have to post no boat parking or Lions Club events only on your portion, or their portion of the parking lot there.
Does anybody know where that line ends? I mean, I'm sure I could look at the GIS.
Eric did some stuff for us.
There's a map in there that shows our south border based on the GIS, and Eric pulled up.
Is that the yellow line?
The yellow line is the lot, or the lot line is for the GIS at. And that's what we based the description in the resolution on.
That leaves about 3 spots there. So somebody's anticipating a large event at the Lions Club, would they be able to petition to have those signs covered for the event to allow parking along the road?
But you're then taking away the whole issue of, I guess I would defer to police and fire.
Still a
'Cause
safety
it's,
I would say no.
it's still like safety issue. You're worried about getting a rig out or whatever.
There's been events there already where that street is both sides is so narrow, you can barely get a truck through there. If you could even get a truck through there on some days when I've seen it. Eric, you can.
No, it's been getting tighter and tighter, and I just think this is something that has to be done. Love the Lions Club, but we're gonna have to work something out someplace where they're gonna have to park, but, you know, I mean, Jeff, you've been down there, I know Tony's been down there, Mike Con's been down there, Larry's been down there, when you get, you get 40 or 50 people parking there, there's no place to go. Even with the ball clubs there, I mean, it's great, but we are out of room.
Well, can't we take and at least park on the road that goes from the DPW up towards the village hall? Can we use that road for parking?
That's all open parking because that's not no parking there. There's no parking signs there.
Right,
So
that's
And
where
the
the
fire
parking
rings, the
would
fire rings would never come through there. Because they'll go straight out Riverside.
I mean, you could have a lot of parking spots up through there, and then the tennis courts and.
I would say you'd have to post one side of that street no parking, just to allow, you know, you get people parking on both sides, you're never gonna get through with anything. Right?
That road I wouldn't be concerned about. Jamie, jump in when you want. That road I wouldn't be worried about the fire trucks getting through because they would never come down or come up that way unless there's something happening right there.
I'm just worried about someone in the middle. Guy's parked in the middle of the line, you got cars on both sides, he can't leave. Because the road's not wide enough to support 3 wide.
And the trucks, Eric's trucks, our trucks are wider than that.
You just get equipment and just push it out.
So does Eric, he's got a plow.
I would say if you're gonna park on that road, you'd have to no park one side of it, I don't care which side.
I think you're
but-
gonna have to use that road.
Yeah, but one side's gotta be no parking, or you're never gonna
I
get
think
it out.
eventually the village needs to look at the possibility of putting in parking for these, but you would, again, it's a lot of money to do it right
We've
now.
looked at it at DPW, it is a ton of money, isn't
We
it?
talked about it here at the board as well last year.
It's a lot of money.
Because of that gravel that's gotta go in there. and all that.
But people parking on the side, I mean, you're looking at repair of grass and everything like that, every single,
I think everybody's good with doing the no parking down, what is
Down
that,
Riverside.
Riverside Drive, or
Riverside.
whatever it is.
I think that's a start, we can address all these.
Yeah.
And then we can
First
come,
step.
we can come back later on with
If we gotta
one
address
side or the other.
the other road, is that Nevins or
What's that?
the other road?
It's
Comes
Ri-
up- Riverside goes down to the DPW, the one that comes back up,
That's Riverside as well,
it is.
yes.
We can kick it back down to public safety and the rest of it.
Yeah, the rest of it we can revisit in a month and see what it looks like after they start hitting the water.
what changes need to be made to the resolution?
We need to get rid of Dreamcatcher Way.
Yep, and the dates and the resolution number.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Otherwise, yeah,
Look good?
That's
it's not like the form, but it's what we use.
Do we have a resolution number?
I think it could still be approved with the next resolution number that the clerk will designate. I don't think so.
Okay,
We're gonna just for approving it.
there we go.
I'll make a motion to approve it with the changes.
That was second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let me know when it's ready to be autographed.
Warren, is there a time or something in the future where Public Works, Fire Department, Police Department, and the Lions Club can at least work on some kind of a compromise or solution to, I know there's gonna be issues there,
Absolutely.
but let's,
I can reach out to the guys who do building and grounds over there and set up a meeting. Do like a Monday at 4:30 or something. 4 o'clock, I don't know what time works for you guys.
I don't think you ought to have any trailer parking up at the Lions Club.
what's that?
You shouldn't have any parking.
No, what they need to post signs themselves about parking specifically for their
Well,
establishment.
somebody said like they could have 3 spots for trailers.
Well,
I don't think they should have any.
The problem you're gonna have there is those parking spots are designed to park a vehicle in a trailer. You park a vehicle in there, someone else is gonna pull in behind and park there like a knucklehead.
Well, the Lions Club, I mean.
Well, no, that's Boat Launch side. The Lions Club deal with whatever they gotta deal with repair spots.
So then mark it so it's only one space deep and put a parking curb in.
Trailer parking only.
For those 3, and then other trailers gotta go up. So if you wanna get here early to get a spot, get here early.
There would be a place for the guy to put his kayaks.
Get them off the road.
Yeah. That wouldn't be such a bad idea. When you guys kick it around, maybe look at that. And we're not gonna get somebody.
Charge them a parking fee.
There you
Lions Club could make some money.
Yeah, they kind of fought around a long time down there when those people with kayaks and stuff.
Well, I just been there for 25 minutes and they put 100 in,
Yeah.
2 trucks there and stuff like that.
So instead of having a long space, you just knock into the
We get a motion on the floor.
There was a second,
Yeah,
and this is more discussion.
right. Just making sure. I'm just going to, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Never ever.
Don't miss that, maybe not, I don't know.
Item 8, correspondence. No correspondence. Item 9, public comments. Any public comments? Going once, twice. Kelly, would you like to do the honors?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sorry, Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you both very much. Welcome aboard, Mike.
Thank you.
fine.
Good thing Tony's sticking around.
I like you guys come on a chair.
You're not gonna
Yes,
like
sir.
what I'm gonna have to do, so can I ask you to stand? Just a